In this video, we will look at a continuation of the fossil records. We'll look at two more aspects of the fossil record that scientifically disagrees with the theory of evolution. First of all, we've been told that the fossil record shows evolutionary tendencies, that we see plenty of evidence to show that creatures have become larger, stronger, more intelligent, etc., so that they can survive better and evolve, and that this is what the theory of evolution is all about. But what are the scientific facts? That fossils often point to the exact opposite of evolution, which is called devolution, rather than evolution. The concept of natural selection implies that evolution leads to larger, stronger, and more intelligent creatures, and these are the ones that survive. The weaker, smaller, more helpless ones will die out and become extinct. But is this reality? Let's take a look. Several fossils have shown that a number of creatures today are much smaller than in the past ages, and of course they'd be much weaker. For instance, dragonflies had wingspans of 3 feet in the past. Beavers used to be over 10 feet long. Wouldn't Oregon State University like to have that kind of a mascot? And plants that are currently 1 1/2 feet tall were over 100 feet tall in the past. One shark's tooth that was discovered belonged to a shark approximately 100 feet long. And humans have less than 70% of the brain size of the Neanderthals. Now, scientists say that this indicates less intelligence. Neanderthals were supposed to be creatures that we evolved from. Well, there are also indications that these creatures were much stronger than humans today also. Now, there are numerous other examples of these kinds of fossils. So if we use fossils as evidence for the past, then the very opposite of evolution has taken place. Besides the fact that there are no fossils to support the theory of evolution, changing from one kind of creature to another, as we saw in the last video, often the ones that do exist actually support the very opposite direction of evolution. Another fact, so-called fact of evolution, was that each layer of the strata was or contains certain fossil content, or that is the life forms, in it to match the life that lived during that time. Well, all life forms lived in a specific time period. Some survived longer than others. And that there are no fossils of organisms that died out during one era found in the strata of so-called later eras, or creatures that evolved in one era found in earlier layers. In other words, no fossils should ever be found in the wrong strata layers, or this would completely disprove the whole theory of evolution. Well, very few people realize that out-of-order fossils have been discovered throughout the entire world. They are, in fact, quite common. For instance, human fossils and artifacts have been discovered in coal seams as well as every major stratum in the geological column. This would imply that man existed long before he was supposed to, according to the theory of evolution. Numerous fossils have been discovered in layers that are, quote, tens of millions of years older, end of quote, than the organisms are supposed to be. One of the most controversial finds has been discovered at the Paluxy River near Glen Rose, Texas. There have been found hundreds of dinosaur fossil footprints in this area, with human footprints crossing them. And according to evolutionists, dinosaurs died out about 63 million years before humans even evolved. Evolutionists have simply denied that the human footprints are really human. They may look like human prints, they might say, but they are not really human. Or another approach is that these human footprints have been carved out by humans. Dozens of scientists and doctors took one of these footprints and examined it very closely. The result? It could have been made only by a human foot. Incidentally, it is rather easy to tell if a footprint is human or not for these scientists and doctors, unless, of course, the footprint has been worn away too much. Human sandal footprints have even been found with trilobites embedded in them. Now, trilobites are the horseshoe-shaped fossil, quote, according to evolutionists, from just the Cambrian or earliest time period. Now, this would imply that the very youngest creature, that is the humans, existed with the very oldest of the creatures, the trilobites. This would eliminate the hundreds of millions of years that evolutionists require between the first stages of evolution and the last. For more information, go to evosecrets.com.